Are you afraid of getting the new vaccine? Fear not. I've been getting vaccinated all my life. In fact, it's one of my favorite pastimes. When I was a baby, I was vaccinated. When I moved to this wonderful country, I was vaccinated. When I backpacked through Asia, I got vaccinated. So when I heard there was a new vaccine on the market, I was excited. I got my hands in it, and you guessed it, I got vaccinated. And I'm here to tell you it's completely safe and there are no side effects whatsoever. Let's get into it. Now that the vaccine is available, the question is, who gets it first? People who use logic would assume that those who are more vulnerable would get it first, aka the elderly. However, this is not the case. The CDC has determined that those who get it first should be frontline workers. The CDC thinks that a 40-year-old doctor should get the vaccine before an 80-year-old patient, which makes no sense. It doesn't matter how much contact with the virus the doctor has. Unless he has a pre-existing condition, he's not going to die from it, or his chances are so low compared to the patient. It's not even a debate. But the CDC has decided that essential workers will get the vaccine first and then the elderly. Why? Systematic racism. I know, crazy. The CDC is saying, and the New York Times backs them up, that old people are predominantly white. Therefore, they shouldn't get the vaccine in order to equalize the field. Let's read a Twitter thread that further breaks it down. Thread by Emily Burns. Meet Joe. Joe is a 20-something MPH who works for the CDC. Joe's model is being used to decide who gets vaccinated in the US. Joe is a proud American who lives on occupied Misvokey land. Let's check Joe out. CDC infectious disease epidemiologist and modeling, global health transmission dynamics control, UGA, PMA, blah, non-binary trans, they, them. Non-binary trans? What does that mean? Do you know what non-binary trans means? Comment down below, because I can't even keep up with these things anymore. Alright, Joe. Joe is a scientist, but rather than use reported vaccine efficacy, 90 to 100%, Joe's model uses an estimate of 70%. Joe's model also doesn't take into account the highly age-stratified risk of COVID published by the CDC. Yeah. The CDC says the risk of death is 270 times higher for 70 plus as those aged 18 to 50. Joe's model ignored the highly lethal nature of this disease to the elderly, so Joe was able to recommend the younger essential workers be prioritized above the elderly because elderly are whiter. The New York Times explained why this was fair, and now many states are implementing vaccination plans based on Joe's models, resulting in hardly anyone over 70 being vaccinated. Based on our current death rate, every month that those over 70 are not vaccinated, another 50,000 people will die. Another 12,000 from 50 to 70. Not only are these death tragedies in themselves, but these deaths will be used by the media and unions to keep schools and businesses closed. Of course. I think they do it on purpose. Joe probably doesn't think they're a grandma killer because Joe probably always wears a mask, ignoring, once again, the CDC's own research that shows that neither masks nor hand washing have any real impact on a virus's ability to spread. Joe is the perfect example of the following, the science TM. Joe probably already got their vaccine in. I got confused with the there, but then I realized Joe is they, them. So now I get it. Joe probably already got their vaccine and is feeling very virtuous. Not only would Joe be helping to stop the spread, Joe is ensuring that a more deserving, if lower risk, trans person gets it rather than some old white person. Joe's work shows the deadly consequences of ignoring data and preventing science to serve an agenda. And now let's break down the New York Times article that they're talking about. The elderly versus essential workers. Who should get the coronavirus vaccine first? Harold Schmidt, an expert in ethics and health policy at the University of Pennsylvania, expert in ethics, said that this is reasonable to put essential workers ahead of older adults given their risk and that they are disproportionately minorities. Older populations are whiter, Dr. Schmidt say. Society is structured in a way that enables them to live longer. Instead of giving additional health benefits to those who already had more of them, we can start to level the playing field a bit. In this context, leveling the playing field means white people die. Way to go, Dr. Schmidt, expert in ethics. And then we have Mark Lipsitch, an infectious disease epidemiologist at Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health, argued that teachers should not be included as essential workers if the essential goal of the committee is to reduce health inequities. You see, He said, teachers have middle-class salaries, are very often white, and they have college degrees. Of course they should be treated better, but they are not among the most mistreated of workers. Equity. Equity of outcome. You see how sick these people are? How racist they are? And the whole equity of outcome thing? I mean, oh my god. Communism 101. 101. I'm done with this article. We're done here. For some reason, 31-year-old communist Alexandra OcasioCortez got vaccinated too. She made a whole video about it because she's so dope, you guys. Check it out.
Hello everyone. So the COVID vaccine became available to members of Congress last night, and we are urged to take it as part of a continuity of governance plan. So I'm heading on my way there, and I want to show you guys what it's like. I want to answer any of your questions. So what questions do you have?
I think it's hilarious how she paints herself as some champion of the people, yet she hasn't missed a dime of her $174,000 salary this year while she closes people's businesses down, and then she gives you a $600 check and she tweets about abolishing rent. She's crazy, she's manipulative, yet a lot of people love her. On the Republican side, Marco Rubio, who was also relatively young, also got a vaccine, and the woke left, who had no problem with AOC getting the vaccine, had a big problem with this one. George Takei, Star Trek guy and certified blue check mark, said there are very, very few instances of known allergic reactions to the COVID-19 vaccine. But Marco Rubio has always thought of himself as one in a million, so there's still hope. The tolerant left, you guys. The tolerant left. And then, of course, all these articles about it, because Marco Rubio bad, AOC good. I have no reason to think the vaccine is unsafe, but what's the point of taking it if Fauci is going around saying that you still need to wear a mask, you still need to social distance?
But I would recommend to people to not abandon all public health measures just because you've been vaccinated, because even though for the general population it might be 90 to 95% effective, you don't necessarily know for you how effective it is. I'm not going to abandon completely public health measures. I could feel more relaxed and essentially not having the stringency of it that we have right now. But I think abandoning it completely would not be a good idea.
And now we're seeing that the virus is mutating, like we've seen in England and in Italy, and Saudi Arabia is also closing down its borders. Does this mean that the vaccine is not going to work with the new strain? Not necessarily from what I've read, but that's now. What if it evolves and mutates and mutates? Eventually, it's not gonna work, and we're gonna have to take a new vaccine every year, like we do with the flu. But you'll be forced to take it anyway, like we've discussed on this show before. Events and airlines will force you in order to get in. Take a look.
With vaccines on the horizon, new health apps are springing to life. IBM and Clear, the tech company known for expediting security screenings at airports, are both creating new apps to take in real-time vaccination information. They could eventually be used for admission to concerts and live sports.
So here's how it works. The app gives you a health pass to show before you go into big stadiums like this, to streamline the process, to make it safer and faster for you to get to your seat.
It'll flash green if your health information meets requirements.
A stadium or a venue would not see your personal health data. Everything is opt-in and you control your information.
Everything is opt-in, guys, except that you're forced to use it, but everything is opt-in. It's up to you, peasant. Also, the wear a mask thing is out of control. People don't know how to wear the mask properly. The mask has as many germs as you and your hands do. As I showed you before, and I'll show you again, some people don't know how to wear masks. And now it seems that employers are going to be able to ban unvaccinated workers from the office. So yeah, you'll be forced to take the vaccine, you peasant. Now take the $600 from daddy government and shut up. Now I'm going to go walk my dog. And don't worry, I'll bring my mask. I'm not going to use one of those plastic bags. Hope you liked the video. Like, subscribe. See you next time.